Hi everybody, I'm John Finn, and welcome to an extra special unboxing and review of Masters of the WWE Universe, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, the evil Skull King of Kings and the evil billion-dollar Skull Queen. Pretty excited to have these two because I think they have two of the best designs in terms of the WWE Masters of the Universe line. They both have these really amazing helmets that remind me of the villain from Willow. Anybody remember that movie? Really reminds me of the villain from Willow. And it's this cool skull helmet that goes on and comes off. Triple H has a soft goods cape. But anyway, we're going to get into that. Let's get these guys open. And yes, we're going to open both of these, even though I already have a loose Triple H, because, well, that's just how I roll. Let's start with let's start with Triple H. Since we already have him open, we'll go ahead and get him open again. But first, we want to take a closer look at the packaging. And, of course, you got the WWE version of the burst card on the back there, which is kind of a reference to the old vintage line and even the Origins line, which have a very similar design that's predominated by red. And you've got him here in the package looking all epic, highly articulated posing power, and we turn him around on the back. We get the cool art there at the top of Triple H wielding his mighty hammer outside of the, looks like, can't tell if that's the snake. I think that's the Castle Grayskull ring. I think that one came out first, up there in the background. And then down here, of course, we have the cross cell, which has the rest of the line, including Finn Balor, Sting, and the Ultimate Warrior, and the power posing pictures of the action feature that's included in this, which is basically you can move him around. But let's get this guy open, and of course you can see there how the helmet comes on and off. Let's get him open, take a closer look. Alright, first thing we're going to look at is the little mini comic, and it's really a mini comic. It doesn't have a lot to it, but you can see here on the cover it's got Triple H standing in the Castle Grayskull ring. That's a pretty cool, crisp looking piece of art. I like that quite a bit. On the back you've got the cross cell, and then inside you do get a character card here on the left that talks about all of Triple H's stats as the evil Skull King of Kings, and then a single page comic there which kind of features a couple of the characters from this particular wave. We're going to put this aside for now, and let's get Triple H out of his packaging. Okay, so in the inner bubble here, is he attached by anything special? Doesn't look like he is, except the cape is coming through the plastic here, so just keep that in mind. And his hammer is taped to the back of the inner bubble. We'll go ahead and get this out of the package real quick. We'll get a good look at the detail here on this hammer, because it's got some pretty nice detail there. The imperfections in the molding process are kind of used to make it look even more real, because it's got a lot of, like, it looks like forge marks and stone cutting marks and stuff on it. It's got that interesting marbling effect there on the end. I don't know what I think about that, but it is what it is. And then as we go down the actual haft and handle of the hammer, you can see a lot of details in the rivets holding it together, in the handle itself. It has just a whole lot of detail, which is really nice for a figure at the price point that this figure was originally released at, which is that $15 range. I paid a little bit more than that for these two, but I didn't pay more than $50 for each of them. I'll leave it there. We're going to put his hammer down, and we're going to take Triple H out and take a closer look at him. Comes out super easy from the inner bubble. I like that a lot. And you can see here on the front, he has a lot of cool detail in that mask. I mean, that is a gnarly looking skull. It's got all kinds of detail and just kind of wear and tear and gnarly bits on it, like it's been chewed on. It's got a good detail in the crown itself and the chainmail surrounding the head. The armor, great, just really good detail. You've got the two little Skull King emblems on the chest there. You've got the cross piece that's kind of reminiscent of the original He-Man. And then the cape here, which is attached to the back of the armor there. The helmet does come off, and you can see Triple H's ugly mug there underneath, looking all just brutal and tough and rough and stuff. Put that on. Let's take a quick look at his articulation. Same articulation as all of the rest of the Origins line, which means his shoulders, his elbows. He's got a forearm swivel at the elbow itself. His wrists can go back and forth and twist around. Legs, forward, back, out, just full articulation there. Bendy knees, rollerball on the ankles here, which work better going back than in any other direction, and of course the swivel at the hip. Completely modular as well as the rest of the Origins line, which means you can take him apart and switch out his pieces with the other pieces in the line, which is one of my favorite parts of the Origins and the WWE Masters of the Universe line, is that modular aspect of it. That's just one of the best parts of any toy line, is to have that built into it, because that's what you did as a kid. You mixed up your pieces and you got new characters and you made up your own things, and that was a lot of fun. That was a whole lot of fun. His hand is a little bit tight, doesn't seem to really want to hold on to this hammer a whole bunch, whereas the one I already have open does. Let's look at it. Looks like his hand might be a little bit stubbier on this one. It doesn't quite go around as much as the first one does, but that's okay. We got the extra one so we can do things like kit bashes regardless. So now let's see if we can stand him up with him holding his cool little hammer there. With just one hand. And yeah, we can. He stands pretty easy. Pretty straightforward. I dig it. Beautifully made figure. I am not a fan of Triple H as a wrestler, and I think I only have one of his Elite figures, and it was when he was Hunter-Hearst Helmsley, because I really wanted the Connecticut Blue Blood so I could have him beat up a lot. But this is probably one of my top, if not my favorite, WWE Masters of the Universe figure, just because of the detail that's put into it. Is really nice. The removable skull helmet is it's just beautiful, and I love that. I'm really sad that this line is ending, but that's okay. Let's take a quick look at Miss Stephanie McMahon, the $1 billion skull. Okay, as we take a closer look here at Stephanie McMahon, we can see she has the same burst card that Triple H and the rest of the WWE Universe, Masters of the Universe does. The packaging here is a little bit torn, but that's just kind of what happens when you buy from retail online. On the back, you get this beautiful artwork of her sitting in her little throne as the Skull Queen with her Evelyn-esque magic wand and her cool-ass helmet there. And who is that up in the... I can't tell who that's supposed to be. So if you have an idea on who that is, let me know, because I'm really interested to see if that's a WWE character or a MotU character that I'm not as familiar with. I'm not sure. So let me know if you know in the comments. That'd be awesome. And down here, of course, we got the cross-sell, and then she came with the wave that came with Kane, the second Ultimate Warrior, and Goldberg. And I actually now have this entire wave except for Kane, and I might get him soon because he's usually on sale for a pretty good price. And, of course, you got her action features there on the side with her crystal ball and Skull Queen mask, and put those on her and twist her around to powerful battle positions. Let's get her open now. Ooh, this one's a little bit sticky. Okay, first things first, of course, we're going to look at the mini comic. Really bright, crisp artwork here on this. Oh no, I tore it at the top. That's a shame. But it's got some really nice, crisp artwork. I don't think Stephanie McMahon has ever looked cooler than she does in this image here. You can see her kind of divining the location of Triple H, and she's got her skull helmet and stuff. That's a really cool look. On the back, of course, you got the cross-sell. And then inside, as usual, we're going to have the character card there on the left of Stephanie McMahon looking badass. And then on the right, we've got a brief story featuring her and Triple H. Doesn't look like any of the other characters from the waiver in this, but that's okay because they're a couple and we want them to stay that way. So there's the mini comic. I'm going to toss that down right here. And now let's get the Queen of Skulls out of her package. take her out of the inner bubble. We're just going to put that aside for now. Is she attached in here? Yes, she is attached in here with plastic ties here at her ankles, and it looks like that's it. So I'm going to get her weapon detached. I'm going to get her out of this bubble real quick. First things first, I want to take a look at the weapon that she comes with, which is the kind of magical wand that's a take on the Evil Lyn wand. And I actually also have the Evil Lyn wand from Origins here. And the WWE one has a lot more detail, both in the paint and the sculpt itself. Now, there is the whole thing that Stephanie McMahon's figure is the Skull Queen, so of course she's going to have these bones as a part of the handle of the wand itself, but it just looks cooler, it looks more badass. The coloration is much nicer, so I really, really, really appreciate this as an accessory. Kind of a downer, though, is the skull mask she comes with is just a half mask. It's not a full helmet like the Triple H one. It does make sense because she's got the Evil Lyn thing there on the top of her head. But, you know, it's just something you want to keep in mind that it is a little bit different from the male version of this figure. Up close, pretty good face sculpt. Looks mostly like her, close enough. It's got the nice garish eye makeup. The paint on the helmet is shinier than the paint on the rest, and that's a cool touch. It's really neither here nor there. I do think I wish it matched the reflectiveness of her body paint, but it's still cool. It's fine. Let's put the skull mask on her and see how she looks with that on and how easy it goes on. Looks like she might have some kind of divots for it to click onto. Let's see. Oof, I don't know about this. No. Give me just a second. Okay, so she's got on the ends of each of her, like here and here, there are little slots there. And you insert these tabs into those slots for it to sit into place. So there and there, and it attaches. And it looks pretty cool. It's not as detailed. I think it doesn't have... No, there's no wash on either of them, but something about the darkness of the material in this one just makes those details stand out more. And this one is more detailed than the female one, which is a bit of a downer because Mattel does have a thing about not treating female superstars the same as the male superstars in terms of the complexity and features of their figures. They're starting to get caught up now, but it's just been a shame that it's taken this long for them to get to that point. Here she is with her weapon in hand, and the lighter color of her skull does match the lighter color of the wand here, so that's pretty cool. She has the same articulation, of course, as the rest of the Origins figures. You can move her head. She's got shoulder articulation. It can go up and down, forward and back. She has elbow articulation. She has swivel at the elbow. She has swivel at the wrist, and it can go forward and back. If we go down, she has the hip rotation. The legs can go out and forward and back. Knees bend, and the ankles have the same motion, a bit more than the actual Triple H one. They can go forward, back, and rock side to side, which is a very nice touch thing. Let's see if she can stand with her weapon with one hand. Yeah, she stands just fine. She stands really well. She looks really cool up next to Triple H here. If you can get your hands on this pair, I absolutely recommend it. That's just a really cool look. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take the armor off of one of these, and I'm going to put it on a Origins figure just to see how it looks so we can have a little bit of an experiment, and then we'll wrap up. Oh yeah! So now we got Death Watch Faker here with the cool armor. He's all armored up. He's got the cape and his sword, and you can see his little robotic parts underneath there. That's cool. I'm digging that. You've got Remco, Triple H back here, just ready to wrestle or a good old wrestling match. I'm pretty happy with these figures. I'm pretty happy with their articulation. Their accessories are just phenomenal. The detail is exquisite. And the modular aspect is just supremo. It beats every other toy line out there in terms of its ability to be customized within itself. And that's always going to be a huge win in my book. Well, I hope this gave you an idea of whether or not these are figures that you want to add to your collection, or just a look at how you think the figures are. I hope this is a good reflection of how you feel about them, or just giving you an extra perspective on them. Either way, it's great. Keep collecting the way you like to collect, whether that's keeping your figures mock, whether that's opening them for display or for play. However you like to do it is the best way to do it. And if anybody else tells you otherwise, tell them to go play the game. Sorry. Until next time, I'm John Finn, and I'm out.